back on YouTube and hit start all because I already set up my Twitch and my Kick and back to streaming on three fronts at once. If you're watching me on YouTube, I might catch a comment or two. I'll go ahead and pop in OBS. So no, it doesn't want to let me do that. So if you're watching this and you actually want to interact with me, Twitch is the way to go. That's the one that I actually watch and I can see chat on. That's where I get most of my viewers from on a consistent basis. So move that over there. And we are going to be continuing with the Mark Brunette Learn to Draw in 30 Days YouTube video. This is my third day of doing it. I'm actually on exercise 3. I didn't start with exercise 1. I started with the first part where he has you draw a skull. For practice, that's not it. That's it. So I did that, and not great. I spent, I don't know, about half an hour messing around with this, I think. It's only supposed to take you like 10 minutes, but I did a couple different versions. And again, proportions are wrong, shading isn't great. I used the blue drafting pencil in order to sketch this out. And the next exercise was just drawing the circle and the square. And I started off with some straight strokes, not going back over my stuff, and then I did more of the sketchy type of style that I normally do. And I think artistically speaking, the sketchy, hairy circles look a little bit better. And then the one after that is where you draw shapes, and then you make them three-dimensional by drawing parallel lines and connecting them and all that fun stuff. So these are the two exercises that I did yesterday. And today we'll be starting on exercise 3, maybe getting into number 4. Boom, new layer. It's one of those things that you should be practicing every day. You should be drawing every day. You should be writing every day if you want to be creative. And for me, this is about getting in training and practice doing digital art, particularly like not just the sketchbook, because I draw in my sketchbook every evening, like as I'm watching TV. I'll bust out the sketchbook, like put on something familiar or something I'm not overly invested in, and draw. I'm going to angle this down a little bit. Yesterday, if you were watching, you'll remember I was talking a lot about the angle that I was at. And space is limited. The desk isn't great. Getting my laptop set up, and then everything is connected with wires, so it's a little bit of a mess. I don't have the best angle. I'm not making excuses. I'm just making excuses. Alright, so I'm still using the Mojo Moo drawing section with the mechanical pencil. Oh, and somehow I'm on white. That's interesting. Let's go bump, bump, bump. So you can erase the line that we can't see. Flip that back. Green tea with mango is our tea selection for today. I might make another cup while I'm doing this. Let's get back into the video.
Learning to draw is a lot. The idea with these exercises is joining any corners with lines all parallel to each other. On day 3, this time you'll draw 3 cylinders, each partially behind the other and getting smaller to give the impression that they're in perspective. Then cut them in half horizontally. The trick is to start with 2 identical ellipses, close the shape, and then erase either the top or the bottom line. The line splitting the cylinders in half should match it, or it won't look right. The following day, you'll practice more cylinders because it's one of the most important shapes. Practice more cylinders because it's one of the most important shapes to master. This time.
Okay. Oh wait, no. So we got the exercise. We know what we're doing. We're doing the. Let's go back. Yeah, we're doing the day 3 exercise right now, which is draw cylinders and draw them in perspective to each other. So thank you, Mark. I'll go ahead and switch to big screen on that. Move my palette, my canvas over, and we'll get going on this. So this is art practice, which is a little bit mental and a little bit physical. And after that, I need to hit the shower because I am gross. did my writing session this morning, and things went well, and I got validation that my story has not gone completely off track, which is fantastic. But then after that, I managed to just get hit with a wave of depression, and then curled up on a ball on the love seat for a while. Kind of had to sit with myself for a little bit. But feeling better now. Ate something, that helped. Took my pills, that helped. And here I don't have my cylinder exactly like set the way it should be, but let's cut this in half. Not exactly the same size, but this is why we practice. And then we want to make them slightly smaller and a little bit behind each other. And then I don't have room to put in the other line there, but we just keep doing this. Just fill up the canvas with this exercise. Another set of 3. So yeah, the story is going okay. Maybe I was a little too confident about 4 going ahead. I need to finish my outline plans for that. I was hoping as I sat and watched the latest episode of Fallout, I was going to be able to do a little more writing on the outline stuff and get that wrapped up. That wound up not happening. Instead, I wound up checking out my video from this morning, which, see, one of the things I hate about Krita is that HUD. Yeah, see, I just do a little circle in too small a space and that pops up. So that's pretty annoying if you're trying to do like small circular dots or something like that. It comes up a little too easily for me. Erasing all the excess lines. Meh. Alright. Back to our mechanical pencil tip. And I somehow got on brown. Okay. And that's from that HUD opening up on me like it did. So you see I'm going over my lines quite a bit, which is usually how I do my draft phase, my initial sketch phase. Instead of solid lines, which tend to waver, I go slanted. Just a quick practice here. And let's go back. Ooh. Go the reverse. Try to go through the lines, go up, through the content, through the stuff. It's too far back. We'll pretend like that's the midway point for that one, just so I can draw that in. Alright, let's keep going. smaller? Let's go smaller. Let's go even further back. Oh, should we cut that one in half? Alright, so larger on that one. Fatter. Turn my phone. Go off. There's a message. Real tempted to check that out. Oh, fuck. I should keep working. Keep working. Been job hunting. Not great. Like, I've been job hunting for so long, I'm looping back on jobs I already didn't get. And a lot of the stuff now is training AI. Like, that's becoming the new emergent field. It's just training AI to do the jobs that you actually want, so the jobs that you want no longer exist in the future. And, yeah, as far as getting into the game design industry, Activision has fired like a third of its employees over this last year. Like, it's a really great time to go independent, because people always spend money on entertainment, even in hard times. In fact, in hard times, they're more likely to spend money on entertainment. That's why Rome doubled down on the Colosseum and Gladiator games during hard times, and they would hand out food in order to get people to show up to those things. So even at the worst of times, people want to be amused. But things are rough right now. I mean, who knows what's going to happen with the stock market doing what it's doing today. Like, I saw my investments go down like $250 today, just in stocks. And then crypto starts to rebound when it hits a new bottom. Like, it hits a new low and people buy in and it spikes up again real quick. And I wish I didn't have so much money in crypto. I was doing good on that for a while, and I took a bunch of money out last year in order to buy a car, and I wound up not being able to buy that car because the asshole I was supposed to meet to buy it decided to sell it to somebody else after I'd taken all my cash out and messed up my portfolio in order to do it. Yeah, my wife picked just the worst year in the history of mankind in order to pull this whole you need to get a job shit. Like, so tall and skinny on this one. So you want it in the foreground of these other ones. Go ahead and give it that curved line so I can practice on those curved lines. Getting really tired of the brown. Let's go back to basic black. Little set over here. See, these are getting quicker and neater as I get used to it. None of this is anything I want to like publish or post anywhere. I mean, obviously I'm doing this live, but all real good practice. Right on the edge. Let's get that bottom line going. Just a little set right here. Supposed to be smaller. That one actually goes back and gets bigger, but whatever. Oh, let's go up here. Actually, no, let's go down here just because it feels uncomfortable and awkward. see what else. Set. Just keep going with these until I fill up the whole screen. Yeah, I think I'm starting to feel better today. A little bit. Still stressing about money. About book sales. Like past 2 days, I've made an average of 15 cents a day off my book on Amazon. With Kindle pages being read. And trying to do posts, trying to put new information about it out on TikTok. I don't understand TikTok. I don't understand the interface too well. Zoom in. But TikTok apparently has like a group called Book Talk. It's dedicated to books, and that's where I can find the greatest concentration of romance readers. Well, my book isn't exactly typical of your romance novel. Because, I mean, one, I'm a man, and men don't typically write romance. Usually that's for women. Like I was telling my wife this morning, the biggest fantasy of the romance novel is you know what the guy is thinking. Which is probably why men get into such trouble when a woman asks, like, what are you thinking? And we say, nothing. Because we are capable of actually thinking of nothing, of just clearing our minds. Women aren't. So they ask us what we're thinking, and we say, nothing. Being honest to gospel truth, and they don't believe us. And then we're in trouble, because we're lying. Sweet. Alright, let's go right in this group. Let's go with a taller one. A couple of shorter ones behind it. No, that's not great. Alright, getting a little sloppy, but okay, so we get the gist of that. Go ahead, hit another layer. Hide this layer. We're on our top layer now. Put that back, and let's see what our next exercise is. Actually, I'm going to take a little break and put the kettle back on before I get into the next one. So I have a whole 30 seconds of letting that last lesson marinate. Busy. Riz. It's not even 3 o'clock and Rizzy already went to bed. Lazy, lazy boy.
Line. The line splitting the cylinders in half should match it, or it won't look right. The following day, you'll practice more cylinders because it's one of the most important shapes to master. This time drawing 3 of them in different sizes and heights. And adding a bit of shading by drawing lines that increase in frequency as you get closer to the edge of the volume. You'll also cut the cylinders in half vertically, and you can tell it's cut in half properly when the 2 sides on top here are symmetrical but inverted. Now, on day 5, you'll need to draw 3 different boxes with flat perspective, meaning all the edges representing depth should be parallel lines that increase in frequency as you get closer.
Okay. Now you all can see, you can see the line that I'm using is, I don't know, maybe it's just the thickness of the line that I need to change. So we got the exercise, 3 cylinders, different shapes, which means I'm just going to be filling this with standalone cylinders. But instead of doing 10 pixels, let's go ahead and drop this down. Let's do it incrementally to, let's do 3 pixels. Now normally I use a 0.3 millimeter pencil lead. That actually feels a lot better than the 10 that I was using. So I was using something that was over 3 times as thick as what I currently have it set to now. So we'll zoom in a little bit and start doing our cylinders. And because last time this bottom corner was the one that felt the strangest to work with, I'm going to start down here. And because I'm doing fuzzy lines, it's okay if I actually just do my little shade lines as I'm going in like that. That's kind of how I'm going to cheat it. Over the stuff, and then we're going to cut this in half. Get our one line going down. Just using repeated cuts in order to get that in there. Another one, different size. I hate this feeling. I got this heaviness in my chest and my soul where I just miss my wife. And it's messed up because, like, you know, the reason she's not with me is because of all the years that I spent in the relationship being depressed about shit. I'm upset about things that I didn't have in my life. And now she's one of those things. And I told her that's what was going to happen, and she just nodded. Like, yeah, that's what you get. So, yeah, that's what I get. Let's try going in the middle of this. Alright, I guess I'm going between these again. And I hear it, but I want to get my lines in first. Alright, I'm going to go get my tea. Ow. So yeah, I miss my wife, and I miss my house, my shitty house that I wanted to move out of for years. I miss that too. And I just heard today that Trump is going to be raising the price of houses for homeowners, and I knew that we should wait a year to sell it. Like, I just felt it in my gut. And sure enough, had we waited the year and Trump's shit goes through the way they're saying, we would have gotten probably substantially more money for it. So I'm right. I'm right so much of the time, but you never fucking listen to me. this pattern in our relationship where I buckle and I give her whatever the hell she wants, and she's never fucking happy about it when she gets what she wants. But when we finally go along with things I say for years, she ends up being happy about it. So it's just, there's so many parts of our relationship that don't work. I mean, there's me, for one. I can't get a job. I can't keep a job. I don't have a good employment record. And then there's her never listening to me about shit. But if her brother fucking says something, she listens to that. And her brother is a fucking clown. And she'll listen to everybody but me. Like my alcoholic, drug addict cousin stays with us. And she listens to all the bullshit he has to say and lets that negativity sink in. And he talks shit about me behind my back, and like a good spouse, she doesn't say shit about it. If she would have brought that to my attention in the time that he was there, that he was talking shit about me behind my back, I could have done something about it. Or if instead of complaining about me to other people, brought the stuff to me, then I could actually do something about it. But no, she comes from a toxic family where they talk shit about each other behind their backs. And then when I tell her I don't like this behavior, I don't want to be around it, she says they do that with everybody. That's worse. That is so much the fuck worse. I'm gonna check my phone real quick. It's probably just the family text chain. Nothing significant. Right, nothing significant. Let's go ahead and check the stocks. Alright, so things are up $90 from the low that they were today. So it would have been a great time if you got money in stocks or even crypto to buy at a dip that it's rebounding from right now. Still has me in the fucking hole like crazy in most of my stocks. Wow. And my earnings in AMD have been cut in half over the past couple days. Luckily, I sold some when it was at its peak. Dow Jones Industrial average dipped today and then went back up, so it would have been a great time to put some money in. I think I saw my earnings go down pretty low on that, but not enough for me to like be in the red and feel like I need to put anything in because I'm broke as fuck. I'm down to like $200 in my spending. That's all going to go for electricity and internet here, and I got another $200 in my savings. And I'm looking at shares that I can sell and make whatever the fuck I can off of those. You know, and if she wouldn't have pulled this shit last year, I would be making money off of this stock volatility. If she just would have listened to me and let me take some of our money, some of her earnings, percentage of that, instead of spending it all on clothing and shoes and shit like that, and just let me invest some of it, I could be making this money. Because right now our economy is at a stage where people can become millionaires with sound investments. But she's bleeding me for every fucking penny that I have, that I've spent years saving up, in order to prove a point to her fucking shithead father, or because she's feeling vindictive about anything. Because whenever I amass anything, earn anything for myself, she has to try and give it away, or get me to spend it, or lean on me, or like it. She has such a knack for ruining me whenever the fuck I'm trying to dig myself out of a hole or build myself up. She has to ruin it every single time I have a plan. She has to ruin it somehow. It's just a knack of hers. And again, I'm realizing how toxic this is, but she's She still like rests my nervous system. But she ruins me. She fucking wastes me. She does it for the sake of her shithead family or shithead friends. Every fucking time. Every single fucking time. Anything I can invest in Meta? No. No, because whatever I sold today that was up a little bit, I turn around and reinvest it in something else that's bound to come back up at another time. And that was only a total of $8. That's all I could manage to scrape out. And it sucks. I'm trying to give my wife distance right now, but we're in the 2 weeks leading up to Valentine's Day, so at the same time, I feel like I should be romancing her. Sending the I love yous and letting her know that I care, but at the same time, trying to create emotional distance so she doesn't feel burdened by me. Which just opens room for her to be burdened by her fucking father or her fucking friend. I miss my wife. I miss her so goddamn much. It's a knife in my chest. It's a hole in my soul. It's just. Like, I've been suicidal before. Like, I've dealt with the levels of depression where suicide will be my happiest thought of the day. And now, I've reached a whole new low with everything that's been going on over the past year. Almost a year. It'll be a year. It'll be end of February. End of February, beginning of March. That'll mark when my cousin got a hold of us asking for a place to stay. And she was already kind of checked out. She was already upset with me prior to that point. But his bullshit just took whatever we had circling the drain and just flushed it. Put way too much strain on our marriage. And that didn't mean not working, but I wasn't working because I injured myself twice. And then I didn't feel like I could leave the house because we just had an addict casing our fucking house. So I was reluctant to leave. It felt like I had to be there. It felt like I had to keep an eye on my home, like a husband is supposed to do. And she just couldn't watch me go through that stage of pissed all over again. And he knew that I had anger issues. He knew that I had mental health issues. Because he suffers from a lot of the same shit. And he still chose to do it. And if you ever hear someone say, everyone's a little bit narcissistic, everyone's a narcissist, that's a fucking narcissist, guaranteed. That's covering their bullshit, trying to excuse their crap when they know they ain't right. And that's evil. In my mind, that's how I identify, that's how I classify evil. When you know something is wrong and you do it anyways, or when you know what the good is, the right thing to do, and you do the opposite, that's evil. You've chosen evil at that point. So we do our ellipse, we do our parallel lines, we do our matching half ellipse down there, cut it in half, go down the line, so we've got two adjacent symmetrical portions up there, and then we do our lines where thicker towards the edges and lighter towards the front. Sorry, shoulders. That's why this is a good workout, getting used to sitting here so I can get to the point where I can sit and I can draw and I can work for hours at a time if I need to. Get stuff done. Remember, all this is practice for the cover art I gotta do for my next novel I'm currently writing. You all can see me working on my other streams. Yo, what's up? Yeah, we are doing cylinders today. Working a little bit on perspective, on cutting them in half. Earlier we were doing layered cylinders. This was my first exercise of the day. Now we are doing individual cylinders, and I dropped down my lead size. So I was at 10 pixels. Now I'm looking at 3 pixels, which actually gives me a lot more of that pencil feel. And I was saying, typically when I'm drawing on, analog, on paper, I'm using 0.3 pencil lead as opposed to like a 0.5 or a 0.7. So 3 pixels actually gets me a lot closer to how I am used to drawing on paper. So what we're doing is we're drawing our cylinders, we are cutting them in half, we're adding our shade lines, where we go thicker towards the edges and lighter as we come out towards the front. And then we are supposed to be doing sets of 3. Well, this is my 3rd day of practicing, but this is exercise number 4. And I'm thinking doing 2 of these a day isn't too bad, because I'm not exactly an amateur. I went to school for game design and animation and actually got in based on the contents of my sketchbook at the time. And that was my prompting to go. So I've been drawing longer than I've been walking. But I don't practice enough. I'm not consistent enough. So this is trying to get better specifically at using the digital format, at using this stylus, this tablet. So I'm really liking the 3 pixel mechanical pencil. Alright, let's keep building it out. Yeah. Around these angles. Oof. Let's go down here, do one that's kind of flat. No? Let me guess. Spam call. I'm going to take this in the off chance that it's a job offer. I'll be back. Sorry. Hello? Hi. spam AI call, possibly a scam. Really annoying, because I got so many floating resumes out there. Let's see. Go on, I'm going to do a full page with this. Oh yeah, McDonald's is hiring. You're the second person who suggested that to me. I think I got another viewer who works at McDonald's. Maybe I should apply. So I could use just about anything at this point. I would just hate the idea of working for like $15 an hour. The whole reason I went to college was so I could make, starting out $30 an hour when I got out of college. And those jobs just did not exist even then. And game design is going through a huge shift at this point. Really, you don't need a degree to work in game design. You just need to be doing what it is that you want to be doing and have a decent portfolio. Or you could always do AI, which really you just need to be able to pass a quiz and show that you can think logically in order to write a bug report. Yeah, the hours are shit. No, Indeed isn't great. Indeed isn't great at all, and a lot of the places that are hiring are getting flooded with applications. A lot of them are getting flooded with applicants like myself who aren't actually eligible for the job, don't really qualify, but are desperate enough to try, which is actually hurting the people that do have the qualifications for a lot of these jobs because they're not getting an opportunity. There are a lot of jobs that I'll see posted and sent to my email, and just posted, and as soon as I sign in to apply, they're no longer taking applications. Places are just getting flooded right now. So it really is the hirer's choice right now. And I've been turned down for crappy retail jobs I've tried. I think Lowe's was one place that I applied for. Aldi's was another place that I applied for, and I got turned down for those jobs. And I've got years of retail experience, stocking shelves, because I've done horrible jobs over the last decade or so. So I wouldn't have to be too focused on a career or anything like that, and I could focus on doing my own stuff independently, and then never finished anything. What with feature creep and depression and ADHD and getting distracted by stuff. Just letting life in general get to me. I feel like I need to do some more extreme angles. I'm getting a little bored with the one that I'm doing. This is all from the same type of perspective, all these logs. Let's do a fat one up here. Let's do a little one down here. Let's connect these lines like so. Let's give you some variety. Actually, no. It should be wider, huh? Wider still. We can cut it in half that way, and do our thick lines to thin, thick lines to thin. All right. Yeah, I was a telemarketer for 6 weeks in October last year. Well, I got fired in October. And I was talking to a guy who wanted to be doing website design, but was stuck working at Walmart, and he was putting in time at Walmart part-time just so he could work full-time to make enough money. dude was struggling, and dude was in tears because I was selling like promotional stuff on golf courses. So yeah, it's rough. It's rough, and a lot of the jobs that you see available that will hire you on the spot are scams. Telemarketing scam type stuff. And I hate to say that I was in that world for a little while, where they hire a bunch of people every single week and just filter out anyone who isn't able to thrive in that sort of environment, which I could have done well, except they insisted on being as noisy as possible in the office. Like, that was their policy on how to work well. Like, you gotta be loud. Everybody needs to be loud. And I can't concentrate in an environment like that. So I'd get a customer on the line, and all I could hear was noise. All I could hear was the rabble going on around me. I couldn't concentrate on the job. And that was really disappointing. That was really rough. I was thinking about that today, like getting fired and just breaking down and crying because desperately trying to get my life on track. But it's lousy things like that. It's bad interviews for oldies and lows and jobs that I don't even want and I still don't get. That got me to actually write a book and finish that last year and get it published this year, and has me like learning how to do the marketing for that stuff, which is a whole nother level of stress to deal with. So what's up, Ashley? You got plans for Valentine's Day? You got a Valentine? You got a bow? Or a boo? Or anyone you need to be saving up that paycheck for? To do something romantic like? Because if you do, you should buy him my book. It's romantic. It's romantic as hell. A lot of sex in it, though. Apparently more than your typical romance. But what do I know about writing romance? It's not like it's the genre I read. I figure romance is for women who aren't getting enough of that in their own life. Just like video games are for guys that want a sense of accomplishment that they're not getting in their own life. What is he, like Mormon, Jehovah's Witness? Or worse, Seventh-day Adventist? I wanted to say Muslim, but for some reason my brain kept going Islam. And I'm like, I don't think that's right. Yeah, I'm not sure how the Muslims feel about Valentine's Day. Should we ask AI? What is the Muslim perspective of Valentine's Day?
In Islam, perspectives on Valentine's Day generally fall into two categories. Religious objection. Most scholars discourage or forbid it because it has pagan and Christian origins. Celebrating non-Islamic holidays is often viewed as tashabbuh, imitation of other faiths. Cultural view. Some modern Muslims treat it as a secular occasion to express love for spouses, though many still prefer to emphasize showing affection year-round rather than on a specific designated day.
That's fair.
Would you like me to find local events or alternative gifts?
So yeah, that's a no. Even if he's like only kind of casual, it's not really something that they observe because they would rather just show love and affection every day of the year than one particular one. So lucky you. Yeah, I don't know what to do for Valentine's Day. Right now, the wife and I are separated, and I'm caught between wanting to give her emotional distance and space and respect the separation while I work on myself and we see about, trying to fix the marriage, or gushing over her and trying to make her feel special for Valentine's Day, which I'm worried would just make her feel emotionally burdened. So, yeah, yeah. Awkward place that I'm in right now. I think what I'm planning on doing is I want to make a painting for her, get back into doing some oil painting, and just do something kind of simple. Like that'll be my Valentine's Day card because I had a little bit of money last year. I cashed out some savings thing that I had built up from a job that I had a couple years back, and they were not handling my money well, and so I splurged and got like $1,200, and I spent $100 of that on just oil painting supplies that I have not busted into yet. So I've got a new like mini easel to use in my new apartment here. I've got some small canvases I've been hanging on to for a while that I haven't touched. I got a new set of paint and thinner and brushes and all that fun stuff. So I think what I want to do is a variation on the Cup of Hearts, or no, the Ace of Cups from the Tarot set, and then paint it like in my own style and with a heart in the cup, because Tarot got translated to the modern playing suits that we use in cards, and cups became hearts. So cups represent like love and emotion and that sort of thing. And that's a card that represents like love and new emotion and like emotional growth and new beginnings and that sort of stuff. So it's kind of appropriate for where we're at in our relationship right now. Sorry to talk about personal stuff like the wife and all that, but that's actually what got me into streaming again. Was I needed an outlet to sort of vent and talk about that stuff. Thick to thin, thick to thin. Yep, yep, I could do roses. I've been thinking about roses too. It's a little plain, a little obvious, but yeah, she would appreciate that. I think part of the problem with our marriage is there were so many years when I didn't do roses, or I didn't do anything, or I didn't even think about Valentine's Day. I just took her for granted. Too caught up in my own stuff. Use up all this space. Why would I go smaller? I don't have to go smaller. I can zoom in and see just how jagged these lines are. Oh my god. Light, thin, thin. Okay. I mean, for Christmas this last year, I gave her the book. I dedicated the book that I've been writing, The Drowning, The Lonely Isle, to her. Yeah, just keep going until I run out of space, pretty much. That's what I'm doing the practice. That way I'm getting my reps, I'm getting in my artistic exercise. While we're at it, let's try like that. Do some to the side. Let's go horizontal with this one. Squeeze one in here. Other way with it. Oh yeah, cut it in half. Don't forget to cut it in half. Thin one right here. It's just so cylinder shaped anyways. And that's why they're good practice. I mean, everything is hard when you first started. So you just do it. Be okay with making mistakes. Learn a lot more from your mistakes than you do from the things you do well. Let's see. Let's do one over here. Low over here. I can do a couple more. I can do a couple more. Yeah, I think so. For sure. Let's get this corner. Oh, over here. Let's do this. A little tiny bit there. Boo, 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 boo. Do, 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 do. Now, what Mark suggests is doing like 10 minutes a day. Clearly, I'm going well over that, but I consider part of this to be an endurance exercise, so I can get myself used to just sitting here and working on a project on an extended period of time, and actually eventually start doing some far more detailed work. Yeah. Yep. According to my stream up here, almost an hour and 10 minutes. So I will be winding down pretty soon. Once I fill up this page, I'll be getting up, taking a walk, getting the dog out, going for a stretch, and then probably be back on later this evening to get back to the writing, because I really wanted to try and finish the chapter that I'm on today, but it seems like I kind of curse myself. And I'm like, I'm going to get it done today. I jinx it. Like, I need to write it down on my to-done list, where I write down, like, today I finished. And then I'm more likely to actually do it, because I trick my subconscious into focusing on it. But today I'm having a hard time getting to it. I don't know why. It doesn't feel like it's a hard chapter to write. It does feel like the story's evolved a little bit past my initial concept, so I have to make some minor adjustments to it. But it's still usable in pretty much its original form. Let's go down here. Draw that in. Draw that. On that, let's draw that. Draw that. Draw that. Draw that. So I actually do a wedge, just for the hell of it. Oh, look at that. I got another spot over here. That here. Try a really thin one. Well, no, let's do a thick one right here. Let's try a little thin one right here. Half, shade lines in. Let's do a couple more. Really make the use of most of this space. And a little depth. Oh, look at that. Look at that little nugget of space I got here. Let's use that. Let's use that too. Nugget. A nook and a nugget. All in one. Oh. Yes, infinite cylinders. I mean, I could be doing cylinders within cylinders if I wanted to. I'll be a little bit nicer to myself. that. So I can keep this thin enough to where it floats above this. Oh, there we go. And my lines in. And my section to cut it. Yeah, what's up, Grumbles? My dog deflating a little bit behind me. Oh, that was a janky line. All right, a couple more spots to fill in. All right, so got a couple more. She is 2/3 Standard Collie and 1/3 German Shepherd, like the Eastern German Shepherd, the small black ones. All right, I feel like that's good. That is good for now. That's an hour and 15 minutes of sketching and doing exercises. So, I feel thoroughly worked out artistically, I guess. Got my digital practice in. I'm going to call it, like I said, walk the dog, get myself cleaned up, and then be back on later and doing more outlining and a different kind of drafting to get chapter 4 done. Thank you. And thank you so much for joining me, Slap That Ashy. I appreciate you. I really do. You have yourself a fantastic day. And maybe I'll see you later. All right. Peace out.